Contra Costa County is responding to the White House today after Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany said people in the county were allowed to protest but not attend church under the stay-at-home order. That is entirely inaccurate. Joining us now is Contra Costa County Supervisor John Gioia. Supervisor Gioia, thanks for joining us. I can't imagine how frustrated you must be.
Well, thanks for having me. Well, obviously, we were surprised that the White House was spending its time really trying to divide us rather than bring us together, in addition to getting the facts wrong, because their facts were incorrect. But just as importantly, and frankly more importantly, is why are you spending your time as doing this rather than really supporting our local efforts and trying to unite us as a country?
Well, that's the thought that came to my mind is that, Contra Costa County, it's a county here in the Bay Area. They're all the way over on the East Coast. Why did they pick this particular county or your county to, I guess, single out, inaccurately single out?
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, this is just about the White House trying to play to its base and trying to say, look, they're allowing protests, but not religious services. And of course, the health order yesterday opened up a number of new activities. We're trying to take this in an approach of science over politics. We're carefully looking at how we should open up in a way that's safe and getting people back to work as safely and quickly as possible. So yesterday, outdoor dining opened in Contra Costa County. And if you're a dog lover, a lot of things that dog lovers and dog owners like myself like, which is dog grooming and dog walking and dog parks are all open. And we did have guidance and information about protest and outdoor religious ceremonies. So when they tweeted that we were allowing protests but not religious ceremonies, yes, we were surprised. I wasn't shocked, because this is unfortunately a pattern at the White House and this president and his new press secretary, which is to play to his base at exactly the wrong time with the protests going on across our country, with the pandemic, with all of the challenges we're facing. This is a time for a national leader to bring us together and not to divide us. So I think we're beyond that. And Americans deep down, I think, are looking for that. So I'm disappointed in what they did, but our residents know what we're doing.
What I found to be interesting is that she tweeted, when she tweeted out that the inaccurate information, she included an article from the East Bay Times. I was unable to open the article, but I would assume the East Bay Times has your county's orders accurately reported. So I'm not sure where she got that from.
She tweeted an old story from earlier in the week. In fact, an East Bay Times reporter did tweet on Friday that Kayleigh got it wrong, and there was an accurate story in the East Bay Times on Friday. So as a press secretary, you would think she would know to read the most recent account in a newspaper, which is Friday, and not take an old article and basically assume things from that without checking her own facts. So again, the East Bay Times tweeted about this on last night and did say she was wrong and that they had reported it correctly. So she's also not doing a very good job of being a press secretary and keeping up on the most recent news.
Well, I agree in that she definitely has to look at the latest article. I thought in my mind, well, maybe she missed that article. But having been corrected, I actually went onto her Twitter page, and the tweet is still up on her page. I would think when a claim like that is negated with, the accurate facts of what is actually in the order, I would assume that a person that tweets something like that would then later go remove it or, tweet something afterwards saying, sorry, here's a correction. Right. But there's none of that on her page.
Are we really surprised about that? I mean, we've seen this over and over with this president and unfortunately even with the press secretary, which is that we're going to try to spin things and play to a base, and we're not going to correct wrong information. This White House has a history of not correcting wrong information. We know that. So that's why What we want to do is provide the right information and confidence to residents in Contra Costa County about what's open, and we did that. And we're not going to let misinformation from the White House get in the way of that. And more importantly, we're going to focus on doing the tough work to respond to the virus, help reopen. Our county is spending $100 million over the course of 4 months. Our healthcare workers, our social service workers, providing new alternate care facilities for people if hospitals get overloaded. We're doing the hard work on the front lines, and they're wasting their time trying to look for differences and play to their base. That's just, I think, shameful at this time when lives are at stake. We're in a country that's talking about the need to end racism and injustice in so many power structures and systems in our country, and they're spending their time on this type of petty stuff.
Now, just to clarify, protesting and religious services, as long as they are protests of 100 people and religious services outdoors of 100 people, those are both allowed. For the viewers that are just joining us, we are talking about the White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany. She had tweeted saying that protests of 100 people are allowed, but religious services are not. That is inaccurate. Supervisor Gioia, let's just hit it home for our viewers. Confirm what your order says.
Our order says, exercise your right of free speech and free assembly and protest safely. It would be best and healthier if it's in groups of 100 or less, where you social distance and wear a mask. That's important to do at this time in our country. And for now, outdoor religious ceremonies with the same social distancing practices of 100 or less. And hopefully over time, both of those will change and be broadened as we continue to be successful in fighting the virus.
And for now, what are the numbers looking like in Contra Costa County, the COVID-19 numbers?
Contra Costa County, we have seen a decrease in hospitalizations. We have only now around 15 people hospitalized due to the virus. So we have definitely turned the corner, and we've avoided a surge. But this is not yet over. We've had 38 deaths. And most of those, or the largest portion of those, were unfortunately seniors in senior facilities. So we've been able to, because of the success of residents across the county and the Bay Area on sheltering at home, we've been able to be successful at slowing the spread, saving hospital capacity, and saving lives. But this is still a long road. Our health officer understands that there may be a surge as a result of reopening businesses, and there could be a surge in the fall. So the 4 rules to follow in thinking about being successful is: 1, wear a face covering when you're out; 2, wash your hands frequently; 3, social distance from others; and 4, don't go out if you have symptoms, but get tested. And health experts believe if we do those 4 things, we will be successful in really coming out of the shelter at home and limiting the spread of the virus.
Those are all very, very important tips, and very important to keep in mind in order to prevent a reversal of all the work that your county has done and all the people on the front line have done to kind of flatten the curve.
Putting out accurate. We will put out accurate facts and keep our residents informed and not put out misinformation, and we will call it out when we see it.
All right, perfect. Supervisor Gioia, we thank you so much for joining us today. And again, the tweet that Kayleigh McEnany, press secretary for the White House, put out is inaccurate. Both protests and religious services of up to 100 people are allowed in Contra Costa County. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.